All right, so this is Trading for Beginners Part 2. I'm going to be showing you guys how to read market structure and how to spot a shift in structure. So here I see a downtrend. This is a downtrend. It's a downtrend because here is your first high, right? It comes down, makes its low. So you have your high and your low. It comes up, makes a lower high. They call it a lower high because it's this high is respecting the previous lower high. If this were to break above here, it would no longer be a downtrend. It's respecting the trend, right? So here is another low. They call that a lower low because it's lower than the previous low. So it's still in a downtrend. You have another lower low. It's lower than the previous lows, downtrend, right? And then your lower high, where it's respecting the previous highs. So it's in a downtrend, right? A downtrend. So for it to continue in trend, it has to come down, break this low, and continue in this range, right? But if you guys pay attention, you get your breakout, right? This is a breakout. It no longer respects the trend and it breaks these highs. All right. So now you have your breakout, but you never want to trade the first one. You have to be patient with a shift in structure because it can also just be a liquidity grab. You want to trade the retest. So it's no longer in the trend, all right? This here would be my retest. It broke out, came down, retested this high. So this would definitely be my entry because you also want to buy low and sell high. So this would be my entry to buy, right? That would be my entry to buy. It finally broke trend. It's no longer respecting the previous highs, not making new lows. It's no longer in a downtrend. You have a shift in structure. Check that out. It just keeps going up. Now you have a shift in trend, right? So now let me delete this range, this downtrend. Now, since the shift happened, it's in an uptrend now. See? An uptrend. I got in on the retest and just held my position. It shot up, got into, all right, so I'm gonna delete it. It got into a range here, right? So it bounced between this range, right? It's not going, it's not making new lows or making new highs. It's just in the range, right? You never want to be in the range. You want to trade the range breakout like this, right? But as long as it's respecting the previous lows on an uptrend now, it's not making a low here, and then if this were to come down and break below here, it will no longer be an uptrend. It has to respect the market structure and respect the lows and the highs, just how I did it in the downtrend. It respected the lows and respected the highs. The shift in structure respected the lows and respected the highs. It was making new highs, all right? So this is a range. You trade the breakout of the range. Your position here would have been solid too. And that's how you scale in on the range. Holding this position, right? Trading with the trend, it respecting the trend, and getting in on the retest. This is a retest. The breakout, you can either trade the breakout or get on the retest. And it's still just uptrending. Uptrending until it gets back into a downtrend. But this is where patience come in. You have to read market structure and understand Japanese candlesticks. But as long as it's respecting the lows and respecting the highs, and it's literally in an uptrend like this, right? Where it's respecting the lows, is not making new lows, and it's breaking new highs. It's an uptrend. If it's sell-offs, right? It's making new lows, respecting the previous lower highs, and so on, right? It's not breaking above. This is a downtrend, so it's not breaking above the previous highs, and it's making new lows, right? Making new lows. Same here, uptrend, respecting the lows and making new highs. This downtrend, lower high, low, this lower high, respecting that previous high, coming down, making a new low and continuing in the down range. That's how you can spot trends and a shift in market structure.